A distinctive voice in the world of local television and a cornerstone of New Jersey's cultural identity, has gone silent. Floyd Vivino, the comedian, musician, and idiosyncratic host known to generations of viewers as Uncle Floyd, has died at the age of 74. His passing marks the end of an era for independent broadcasting and for a specific brand of chaotic, low-budget variety entertainment that flourished in the gaps between network programming. Mr. Vivino died on Thursday in Hackensack, New Jersey, in a rehabilitation facility. According to his brother, Jimmy Vivino, the cause of death was complications resulting from a stroke Floyd suffered in 2023. While his later years were marked by these health challenges, his legacy remains tied to the decades he spent behind a piano, wearing a signature pork pie hat and presiding over one of the most improbable success stories in television history. For those who grew up in the New York and New Jersey metropolitan area during the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, The Uncle Floyd Show was more than just a television program. It was a local institution. What began in 1974 as a modest venture on a local UHF station eventually expanded into a long-running, freewheeling variety show that aired until 1998. It was a production that leaned heavily into its shoestring budget, finding charm in its lack of polish and strength in its absolute unpredictability. Floyd Vivino was the center of this hurricane. He was a classically trained sounding stride piano player who used his musical talent to anchor a show that otherwise felt like it was constantly on the verge of falling apart. He didn't just host the show, he lived it. He celebrated his home state of New Jersey in song and sketch, often turning the local geography and the eccentricities of the Garden State into a centerpiece of his comedy. The show was famously unrehearsed, a weekday blend of music, puppets, and parodies that felt closer to a high-energy vaudeville act than a modern sitcom. It was this raw, live energy that helped the program transition from obscure local channels to cable, eventually garnering a dedicated cult following. This following was not limited to casual viewers. Uncle Floyd countenanced a surprising degree of celebrity fandom, becoming a favorite of rock stars and professional comedians who recognized the subversive, avant-garde nature of his low-tech production. At the heart of the show's appeal were the characters and the troupe that Vivino assembled. Viewers became intimately familiar with puppets like Oogie, a wooden clown who served as a foil to Floyd's antics, and Bones Boy, a skeleton character known for being particularly testy and difficult. These weren't the polished puppets of major network children's shows. They were rough, handmade, and possessed of distinct, often grouchy personalities that appealed to adults and children alike. The human cast was equally memorable. Mr. Vivino oversaw an oddball troupe of performers who went by names that sounded like they were pulled from a mid-century comic strip. There was Weenie, Muggsy, and Netto, actors who leaned into the ludicrous nature of the scripts, which were often thin enough to allow for heavy improvisation. The show frequently poked fun at other local personalities, creating a meta-textual humor that rewarded viewers for being in on the joke. While Floyd was the face of the operation, the Vivino family's contribution to the arts extended well beyond the UHF signal. His brother, Jimmy Vivino, who confirmed Floyd's passing, is a highly respected guitarist and organist. Jimmy would eventually become a familiar face on a much larger scale, serving as the leader of the basic cable band on Conan O'Brien's late-night talk show on TBS. This musical pedigree was evident in Floyd's own performances, where his skill at the piano provided a sophisticated counterpoint to the slapstick humor happening around him. The journey of The Uncle Floyd Show was a testament to persistence in a shifting media landscape. It survived the transition from the early days of UHF, where viewers often had to adjust rabbit ear antennas to get a clear picture, to the rise of cable television. Throughout these changes, the show's aesthetic remained stubbornly the same. It was a world of felt puppets, thrift store costumes, and a host in a pork pie hat who never seemed to take himself too seriously, even as he became a regional icon. To understand the impact of Floyd Vivino, you have to understand the context of his era. In a time before the internet and social media allowed for niche communities to find one another easily, The Uncle Floyd Show acted as a beacon for the eccentric. It was a show that felt like it belonged to the viewers, a secret shared by those who knew which channel to turn to late in the afternoon or late at night. It was inherently New Jersey, gritty, unpretentious, loud, and deeply musical. Floyd's death in Hackensack brings him back to the roots he so frequently celebrated. His health had been a concern since his stroke a year ago, but the news of his passing has prompted a wave of nostalgia across the tri-state area. Fans are remembering not just a comedian, but a man who proved that you didn't need a multi-million-dollar studio or a massive writing staff to create something that resonated with people for a quarter of a century. His career was a reminder that personality and a genuine connection to one's audience can outweigh production value. Whether he was playing a fast-paced stride piano number or engaging in a heated argument with a puppet skeleton, Floyd Vivino remained authentically himself. He was the uncle to a generation of fans who appreciated the absurdity of life and the simple joy a well-timed joke or a catchy tune. As we reflect on the life of Floyd Vivino, we look back at 24 years of television that was by design, freewheeling, and unrehearsed. We remember the names Weenie, Muggsy, and Neto, and we remember the sight of the man in the pork pie hat, sitting at his keyboard, turning a small studio in a local station into a world of its own. Floyd Vivino, known to all as Uncle Floyd, was 74 years old. He is survived by his family, including his brother Jimmy, and by the memories of countless viewers who found something special in the low-budget, high-spirit world he created. The curtains have closed on the Uncle Floyd Show, but the music of his stride piano and the echoes of his puppets' laughter will remain a part of the New Jersey airwaves forever. This has been a look at the life and career of a local legend. We will be right back after this.